It is my advice to please take these theories with a pinch of salt. Theory 1. She was secretly replaced with a boy. When Elizabeth was 10, the plague hit London. As a precautionary measure, she was sent away from court to a small village. While she was there, she grew ill of some unknown disease and died. Her governess, who was tasked for caring for Elizabeth, began to panic. The famously temperamental king who had already executed Elizabeth's mother, Anne Boleyn, was scheduled for a visit. So the governess searched the countryside for someone who looked like Elizabeth. She found an effeminate young boy who resembled the princess and dressed him up in Elizabeth's clothes. The ruse fooled King Henry and the entire kingdom, as this boy would go on to rule England for over 40 years. This theory seems absurd, but it gained credibility when Dracula author Bram Stoker published his book Famous Impostors in 1910. In it, he persists that Elizabeth was actually Henry VIII's illegitimate grandson. The existence of this theory shows how resistant people were to accepting a female ruler, even one whose reign was considered extremely prosperous. She was not Henry VIII's daughter. Rumours of illegitimacy have always plagued royals, particularly when their mother was famously executed for adultery. The flirtatiousness of Anne Boleyn, Elizabeth's mother, is well known. That is, after all, how she won the married King Henry VIII. But some argue that she took things a step further. Some scholars believe she slept with other men as a type of insurance. The most important thing for Henry was to secure a male heir. That's partly why he ditched his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, for the younger and presumably more fertile Anne. Anne, who was a clever woman, might have gone to bed with other men to ensure a pregnancy. If that were the case, the plan backfired, as Anne was accused of being unfaithful to her husband and charged with sleeping with at least 5 other men. Before Anne's trial, Thomas Cromwell, the king's chief minister, said the Queen's incontinent living was so rank and common that the ladies of her privy chamber could not conceal it. This was long before the days of innocent till proven guilty. But even if Anne were innocent, it wouldn't have mattered. The king always got what he wanted. His 6 wives could attest to that. She wasn't a virgin. Although Elizabeth was known as the Virgin Queen, many historians have speculated that was merely a title. It was crucial that Elizabeth preserve her image of chastity in case she needed to marry to gain some political leverage. That said, Elizabeth was rumoured to have had dalliances with Robert Dudley, Robert Devereux, and the Duke of Anjou. Elizabeth favoured Dudley, who she had known since childhood, openly flirting with him in front of the entire court. Their fondness for one another was so apparent that it worried Elizabeth's counsellors, and they strove to find her a suitable husband in an effort to keep them apart. Unfortunately for them, Elizabeth had her mind set, and though she told her council that she was open for marriage if they could find her a suitable match, she had supposedly told Dudley at an early age that she would never marry, not even him. When she was a young girl living with her guardian, Catherine Parr, it is said that Catherine's husband, Thomasseymour, would sneak into Elizabeth's bedchamber in the morning. Servants reported hearing noises coming from the bedroom. When Thomas was later accused of treason against King Edward, Elizabeth was implicated in the crime, and the nature of their relationship was called into question. During the investigation, Elizabeth denied the rumours about her and Thomas and maintained that she was still a virgin. She was Francis Bacon's mother when Elizabeth and her childhood friend Robert Dudley were imprisoned in the Tower by Elizabeth's sister, Queen Mary. It is said that they had a monk marry them. Allegedly, they kept their marriage a secret well into Elizabeth's reign. Dudley was not a court favourite, and the Queen needed to remain single in case the need of a politically advantageous marriage arose. However, the two carried on and even had a child together. Supposedly, Elizabeth gave her child to her most favoured lady-in-waiting and confidant, Anne Bacon. Anne and her husband, Sir Nicholas Bacon, gave Francis their last name and raised him as their own son, and he became the famous philosopher and scientist. Considering the fashion of the period, a pregnancy could have been concealed. However, it would have been difficult for Elizabeth to hide her baby bump from the gentlewomen of the bedchamber, who were historically tasked with bathing, dressing and undressing the Queen. She was the real William Shakespeare. There's a small sect in literary academia that believes someone other than William Shakespeare wrote all of the Bard's famous works. One contender was Queen Elizabeth. There's no real evidence to support this claim, but some scholars have argued that Shakespeare, who came from a rural area, did not have the necessary knowledge to write about life at court. Additionally, many of his plays served as Tudor propaganda, leading some to think that the author of these works might have strong ties to be part of the Tudor dynasty. Elizabeth was known to write poetry and was considered to be an incredibly well-educated, witty person. You might think some of Shakespeare's content was too crude to have been written by a queen, but in truth she was known to curse like a sailor. As entertaining as this theory is, it's difficult to imagine the Queen having the time to write 37 plays and 154 sonnets. She was a hermaphrodite. Queen Elizabeth was famously resistant to marriage, causing many history buffs to wonder why. Some authors have said that Elizabeth was born with both male and female reproductive organs, and that she remained a virgin because of it. As researcher R. Bacon explains, characteristics of the testicular feminization syndrome are strikingly similar to descriptions of Elizabeth's appearance, personality, and behaviour. These individuals typically present attractive, intelligent, practical females, above average in height, slim, active, athletic, with notably long hands. They have a normal lifespan and are free of related illness. The only sign of abnormality is the lack of menstruation. She had a secret love child with Shakespeare. This one's a theory within a theory. There is a lot of discussion about the true relationship of Shakespeare's works. According to one theory, Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford, was the person who actually penned Shakespeare's plays and poems. Supporters of this notion point to the similarity of the events in de Vere's life to those in many of Shakespeare's works as proof. An offshoot of this notion claims that he and Elizabeth were lovers and had a child together. Supposedly the child's name was William. However, there's no real evidence to support this idea. And this concludes the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please click the like button, give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe for future videos. Thank you.